With Robin Lehner's injury, the Vegas Golden Knights were put in a really tough position for their goalie spot. And although the Vegas Golden Knights did bring in a ton of their previous guys back to the fold, as well as improve their team as a whole on the, on ice part of things, the goalie situation has been a large question mark with Lehner's injury. Now, with Lehner on LTIR missing the entirety of the year and Logan Thompson most likely being the starter, the number 2 position has been a dying question. And I did make a full video on this, making some predictions, who could they bring in, and all that. But the fact is, on Monday, the Golden Knights made their move to bring in Adin Hill. And that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. What does Adin Hill bring to this team? What can he do for this team as a whole, and what is his potential? If you enjoy this content, please give me a like and subscribe. It truly means the world to me, and I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and I cannot do that without your guys' help. But let's not waste any more of your time. Let's get into this. As mentioned, on Monday, the Vegas Golden Knights traded a 4th-round pick to the San Jose Sharks for Adin Hill. With Logan Thompson, Laurent Brossoit, and Michael Hutchinson all currently battling for that second spot, adding in Adin makes an already competitive goalie room just that much more competitive. Now, as mentioned in my video previously, we've kind of went through all of their stats in Laurent Brossoit, Michael Hutchinson, and these guys and what their stats can be. And there was, some options there. I think Brossoit, who was mentioned to be the pairing earlier in the year, mentioned by McCrimmon, and now that's been altered. We need to take a look at what Adin Hill can bring to this team. So first, let's start with his stats. Adin Hill's stats from last season. He was 10, 11, and 1 as a starter, and although that is below 500, the fact of the matter is the Sharks team was not very good last year as a whole, and especially their defense. And that's something to kind of mention here. You can have a top-level goalie, and if they have a bad defense, he is most likely going to look like a bad goalie. For example, and this is a questionable example here, but John Gibson. John Gibson was playing at a top-level goalie just a couple years back. And as the years have went on, he has plummeted to, a fringe starter if you put him on a different team potentially. But the fact of the matter is, the Ducks have had a really bad team, especially defensively. So if you move John Gibson to a team that has a better defense, then he's going to look better. And you might be questioning, it's like, shouldn't your goalie be good enough where a bad defense, he still looks good? But the fact is, when you have holes open everywhere on your defense, there's only so many plays that you can make. I mean, you can make 2 incredible saves, but if there's no one to come and help on that second, third, 4th rebound, it's going to go in at some point. So, with that being said, Adin Hill, who was playing on the San Jose Sharks team that didn't have incredible defense overall, they weren't terrible, but they weren't great, at a 10, 11, and 1 as a starter is pretty solid, especially with the fact that the Vegas Golden Knights have a better defense than the Sharks do. And that's, it is opinion, maybe it's biased, but when you look at stats as a whole, the Vegas Golden Knights, when healthy, do definitely have a better defense than the San Jose Sharks did. Not only that, but Adin Hill had a 2.66 goals against average, which was 19th in the entire league, as well as slightly better than Logan Thompson. So, with that said, you have a 19th goals against average, which already is very, very good. That's starting caliber. You're top 30, and there's, I think, 32 teams in the league. So you're a starter based on those stats by themselves, and you're better than Logan Thompson. Now, let it be known, Logan Thompson last year was a rookie, and I believe by technicality he would still be a rookie this year, but he is only 0.02 better than Logan Thompson, so it's no crazy jump. Now, when you move over to a save percentage with a .906 save percentage, that puts him at 40th. And that is lower than Logan Thompson, so let that be known. But still, at 40th, you're just outside of the top 32, which is all the starters. So with a 19th and a 40th, those are pretty solid numbers, especially for a guy that is expected to be a backup. He also brings along with him 2 shutouts from last year, and in just 21 games, a 2 shutout, that's 10% shutout percentage, which, again, is very, very good. Now, with these stats, it does put him as the best goalie, goals against average, on the roster, and the third best save percentage goalie on the roster. So, the question then comes, who should be starter, who should be backup, and who could steal some reps here and there, depending on certain situations on who is tired? Well, let it be known, there is much bias coming from this statement, but I think Logan Thompson still deserves that starting spot. Now, I do say bias because I'm a huge fan of Logan Thompson. I think he brings an electricity to this roster that's going to help them offensively and defensively. And he's able to keep this team in games that maybe they shouldn't be able to be in, which is going to allow you to win more games. Not only that, but the fact is a .02 goals against average improvement, as well as, for Adin Hill. So just slightly worse goals against average for Logan Thompson, but a lot better save percentage, which save percentage I feel is a much more important category there. Because for Adin Hill, he has a worse save percentage, but a better goals against average, which just means that he faced less shots each time that he was in net. So Logan Thompson has a quite a bit higher save percentage, but slightly worse goals against average, just means that he was facing more shots per game. So that means that when you slide Adin Hill into that spot, if he's facing the same number of shots as Logan Thompson, he's going to be letting in more goals, which is not something you want to see. So I expect Logan Thompson to withhold that starting roster spot. Now, when you move down to Adin Hill, as well as Laurent Brossoit and Michael Hutchinson, the question then arises, who will be number 2? Well, I think the answer was kind of right. I think the question was kind of answered by them bringing him in. You wouldn't trade for Adin Hill unless you expected him to get a decent amount of playing time. And although it was a 4th round pick, which is nothing, terrible, it is still enough where you're like, he's going to be the obvious backup or 1A, 1B, depending on how this team looks at it. Even with Laurent Brossoit being more of a veteran and Adin Hill being a little bit younger, if I do recall, I still think it's going to take quite a bit for a guy like Laurent Brossoit to take that secondary spot back. I think Adin Hill, having enough of, his stats behind him as well as how well he plays, he's going to be able to hold off any battling. Now, with Michael Hutchinson, another young guy, if you haven't noticed, there's a lot of young guys here outside of Robin Lehner who was injured, as mentioned. I still think Adin Hill is the most likely number 2 option, with maybe Laurent Brossoit and Michael Hutchinson kind of either losing the roster spot, because I could see Laurent Brossoit getting moved on to open some more cap space, or we could see them stealing a couple games here or there if, someone gets tired or something like that were to occur. With all of that being said, the biggest factor here again is Robin Lehner's injury, and with so many competitive goalies on this roster, 4 to be exact, Robin Lehner's return is likely not going to happen. Now, there were reports that he would miss the entirety of the year, and there were some reports that he may catch the last 20 or 10 games. But the fact is, he is going to need double hip surgery, so the fact that you bring in Adin Hill likely means he's going to be your secondary, as well as likely means that Robin Lehner is for sure missing the entire season, even if you make the playoffs. So what do you guys think about this acquisition of Adin Hill? Do you see him being the number 2 guy? Do you think he's going to battle with Logan Thompson for that starting spot? And what do you think are their plans for next year? Who will they keep around? Who will they re-sign? Will Robin Lehner still be on this team next year if healthy? Lots of questions are still up in the air. But here's the most important thing to remember. The Vegas Golden Knights play hockey this month, which is absolutely insane to think about. I'm so excited for hockey to be back, and I hope you guys are as well. But with that being said, if you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe. It truly means the world to me, and I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and I cannot do that without your guys' help. And as always, I hope it taught you something today. I hope it made you smile. I hope it made you laugh. This is really important to me. It affects almost the day in a great way, because every single day can be a great day if we all just put in the effort. And as always, you guys all be safe out there.
But something deep inside won't let